Imagine your manager asks you to prepare today's sales report before an important meeting. You open the Excel file, select the sales column, and use the sum function to calculate the total. But something is wrong. Instead of giving the correct result, Excel ignores some values. You also notice a small green triangle in the corner of each cell. Most people immediately think the sum formula is broken or that Excel has some kind of bug. They try typing the formula again, restarting Excel, or even copying the data into a new worksheet, but the problem still remains. The real issue is much simpler. Those values may look like numbers, but Excel is actually storing them as text. Today I'll show you 5 professional methods to fix this problem, explain why it happens, and help you choose the right solution depending on your situation. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to recognize this issue within seconds and fix it confidently like an experienced Excel user. Let's begin with a practical office example. Imagine your company receives a daily sales report from another branch. The report contains product names and sales amounts. At first glance, everything looks perfectly normal. We have products like laptop, mouse, keyboard, monitor, printer, speaker, and webcam. The sales figures also look perfectly fine. You can clearly see values such as 25,000, 15,000, and several smaller amounts. If someone simply looked at this worksheet, they would naturally assume that these are genuine numbers. However, Excel doesn't always judge a value by how it looks. Excel stores every cell internally with a specific data type. A value can be stored as a number, text, date, logical value, or even an error. Even if a text value looks exactly like a number on the screen, Excel may still treat it as plain text. One of the easiest ways to recognize this problem is by looking at the top left corner of the affected cells. Notice the small green triangle. This is Excel's error checking feature trying to warn you that something may not be correct. Many users ignore this indicator because the values appear normal. But this tiny green triangle is often the first clue that something needs attention. If you click one of these cells, you'll also notice that the number is aligned differently from genuine numeric values, depending on your worksheet formatting. Another clue appears when formulas refuse to work correctly. Now let's test this practically. I'll click an empty cell below the sales values and type the sum function. I'll enter equals SUM, open the bracket, select the entire sales column, close the bracket, and press enter. Instead of getting the expected total, Excel may return 0 or an incorrect value because it doesn't recognize those text entries as real numbers. This surprises many beginners because everything on the screen appears correct. The numbers look identical to genuine numeric values, but internally Excel sees them as text strings rather than values that can participate in mathematical calculations. So why does this happen? In real office work, data rarely comes from a single clean Excel workbook. You might receive information from accounting software, ERP systems, payroll applications, CRM software, websites, PDF files, scanned reports converted into Excel, CSV files exported from another application, or data copied directly from emails. During these imports, extra formatting or hidden characters can cause Excel to treat numeric values as text. Sometimes a small apostrophe is placed before the number. Sometimes invisible characters are imported along with the value. In other situations, regional formatting differences can also confuse Excel. Whatever the reason, the result is always the same. The value looks like a number but behaves like text. Fortunately, Excel gives us several professional ways to solve this issue. We'll begin with the quickest method. Click one of the cells showing the green triangle. A small warning icon appears beside the cell. Click that icon, and you'll notice several options. One of them is Convert to Number. Select this option. Instantly, Excel converts the text value into a genuine number. The green triangle disappears because the problem has been resolved. Repeat the same process for the remaining cells or apply it to the entire selected range if Excel offers the option. Now if we calculate the sum again, the total is correct because Excel finally recognizes those entries as numeric values. This is the fastest solution whenever the warning icon is available. However, there's an important limitation. Sometimes the warning icon doesn't appear at all. This often happens when data is imported from external systems, generated through formulas, copied from web pages, or received in formats that Excel doesn't automatically recognize as an error. In those situations, we need another technique. The next professional method is one that experienced Excel users rely on every day because it is simple, fast, and works in many situations. We'll create a new column called Multiply by 1. In the first cell of that column, type an equal sign, select the text value from the sales column, multiply it by the number 1, and press Enter. Although multiplying by 1 doesn't change the visible value, it forces Excel to treat the text as a real number. The result looks exactly the same, but internally the data type has changed from text to number. Now drag the fill handle down to copy the formula for all remaining rows. Every converted value is now ready for calculations, charts, sorting, filtering, pivot tables, and other Excel functions. To verify the result, create another sum formula using the converted values. This time the calculation works perfectly because Excel is now performing mathematics on genuine numbers instead of text. This technique is especially useful when you're working with large data sets because you can convert hundreds or even thousands of rows in just a few seconds without manually editing each cell. It is one of those small productivity tricks that can save significant time during everyday office work. Now let's look at another professional method that every Excel user should know, especially if the green warning icon doesn't appear. This method uses the value function. The purpose of the value function is very straightforward. It converts text that looks like a number into a real numeric value that Excel can calculate. In a new column with the heading value, type an equal sign followed by the value function. Select the first sales value from the original data, close the bracket, and press Enter. Immediately, Excel converts that text into a genuine number. At first glance, the result looks exactly the same as the original value, which often confuses beginners. They wonder whether anything actually changed. The easiest way to verify the conversion is to calculate the sum using these converted values. This time, Excel returns the correct total because every value is now stored as a numeric value instead of text. Drag the formula down for all remaining rows, and you'll instantly convert the entire dataset. The value function is particularly useful when you're building formulas, dashboards, or automated reports because the conversion happens dynamically. If the source data changes tomorrow, your formula updates automatically without repeating the conversion process manually. Now let's learn another technique that many advanced Excel users prefer when they don't want to create additional helper columns. This method uses paste special with the multiply option. First, type the number 1 into any empty cell in the worksheet. Copy that cell using Ctrl+C. Next, select the entire sales column containing the text values. Right-click the selected range, choose Paste Special, and then select Multiply before clicking OK. What actually happens here is very interesting. Excel multiplies every selected value by 1. Since multiplying by 1 doesn't change the number itself, the visible values remain exactly the same, but Excel silently converts every text value into a genuine number. This method is extremely popular because it doesn't require extra formulas or helper columns, making it perfect when you want to clean imported data quickly while keeping the worksheet neat and organized. At this point, we've learned 4 practical solutions. The first was convert to number, which is the quickest option whenever Excel displays the green warning icon. The second was multiply by 1 using a simple formula, which works well for large datasets and is easy to understand. The third was the value function, which is ideal when building dynamic worksheets because it automatically converts future data as well. The fourth was paste special multiply, which converts an entire range instantly without adding extra columns. Each method solves the same problem, but the best choice depends on the situation you're working in. You might now be wondering why this issue appears so frequently in real office environments. Imagine you're downloading monthly sales data from an ERP system, importing customer records from a CRM application, copying financial figures from an accounting package, or extracting tables from a PDF file. During these imports, hidden formatting, apostrophes, invisible characters, or system-specific export settings can cause numbers to be stored as text. Everything appears correct on the screen, but calculations such as SUM, average, MIN, max count, Pivot tables, charts, sorting, filtering, and even conditional formatting may not work as expected because Excel isn't dealing with true numeric values. This is why experienced Excel professionals always verify imported data before starting their analysis. Spending just a few seconds checking the data type can prevent hours of troubleshooting later. One simple habit can save you a great deal of time. Whenever you receive a new Excel report from another system, first check for green warning triangles, then test the data with a quick sum formula. If the result seems incorrect, don't immediately assume that Excel is malfunctioning. Instead, check whether the values are stored as text. In many cases, the solution takes less than a minute once you know what to look for. This small habit can improve the accuracy of your reports and reduce errors before they reach your manager or your clients. By understanding why numbers stored as text cause calculation problems, and by learning multiple professional solutions, you're becoming more confident with one of the most common data cleaning tasks in Microsoft Excel. These techniques are useful for office employees, accountants, HR professionals, analysts, students, and anyone who works with imported Excel data on a regular basis. Mastering them will help you create cleaner spreadsheets, more reliable calculations, and professional reports that work correctly every time. Before we finish, let's quickly compare all the methods we've learned today so you know exactly which one to use in different situations. If Excel displays the small green warning triangle, the fastest solution is convert to number because it requires only a single click. If you're creating a new worksheet or cleaning imported data with formulas, multiply by 1 is an excellent option because it's simple, fast, and works with large datasets. If you're building dashboards or automated reports that will receive fresh data regularly, the value function is usually the better choice because it converts text into numbers automatically whenever new data is added. And if you already have a completed worksheet and want to convert hundreds or even thousands of cells without creating extra columns, Paste Special Multiply is one of the quickest professional techniques available. There isn't just one correct method. The best method depends on the type of workbook you're working on and how you want to manage your data. Now let's verify that everything is working correctly. I'll calculate the total sales once again using the corrected values. This time, Excel immediately returns the correct total because every value is now stored as a genuine number instead of text. You'll also notice that the green warning triangles have disappeared, confirming that Excel no longer detects any issue with these cells. This simple check gives you confidence that your worksheet is ready for further analysis. From this point onward, functions such as sum, average, min, max, count, sumifs, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, pivot tables, charts, sorting, and filtering will work much more reliably because Excel is finally working with proper numeric values. One important lesson to remember is that not every Excel problem is caused by a wrong formula. Sometimes the formula is completely correct, but the data itself isn't stored in the correct format. Learning to identify problems like numbers stored as text is one of the biggest differences between beginners and experienced Excel users. Professionals don't just memorize formulas. They first check whether the underlying data is clean and properly formatted before performing calculations. Developing this habit will help you avoid many common mistakes and make your reports more accurate and reliable. If you regularly work with sales reports, HR records, inventory lists, accounting files, customer databases, ERP exports, CSV files, or PDF data converted into Excel, you'll encounter this problem again and again. The good news is that now you know several professional solutions and can choose the one that best fits your situation. These small techniques may seem simple, but they can save hours of troubleshooting and help you deliver error-free reports with confidence. I hope this practical tutorial helped you understand not only how to fix numbers stored as text, but also why the problem happens in the first place. If you found this video useful, please click the like button, subscribe to Shalu Verma classes, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future Microsoft Excel tutorials. In the upcoming videos, we'll continue solving real office problems with practical Excel formulas, functions, shortcuts, and productivity techniques that you can start using immediately in your daily work. Thank you very much for watching, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next Excel tutorial. Happy learning! Rock it!